Vietnam, a land of vibrant cities and fertile deltas, faces an existential threat: climate change. Located in Southeast Asia, Vietnam is highly vulnerable to the impacts of a warming world. Rising sea levels, extreme weather events, and changing rainfall patterns pose significant risks to its people, economy, and environment. As one of the most climate-vulnerable nations, Vietnam offers a stark illustration of the challenges faced by countries on the front lines of climate change. The Mekong Delta, the country's rice bowl, is particularly susceptible to rising sea levels. Saltwater intrusion threatens agricultural productivity, jeopardizing food security and livelihoods. Coastal erosion and more frequent and intense typhoons compound these challenges, putting millions at risk. The urgency of the situation demands immediate and concerted action. The economic consequences of climate change are already being felt in Vietnam and across the Asia-Pacific region. A 2025 report by the United Nations Economic and Social Commission for Asia and the Pacific, ESCAP, highlighted the intricate link between climate change and macroeconomic vulnerability. The report revealed a sobering trend: slower economic growth across the region, partly attributed to the escalating impacts of climate change. Developing countries, including Vietnam, are particularly susceptible. They often lack the financial resources, institutional capacity, and technological advancements needed to adapt effectively. The ESCAP report underscores the particular challenges faced by 11 countries in the region, including Vietnam. These nations contend with fiscal constraints, underdeveloped financial systems, and limitations in public financial management. These factors hinder their ability to invest in climate resilience and transition to more sustainable development pathways. The year 2024 brought a stark reminder of Vietnam's vulnerability to extreme weather events. Typhoon Yagi, the most powerful storm to hit the country in 3 decades, left a trail of devastation in its wake. Coastal communities were ravaged, infrastructure was destroyed, and agricultural lands were inundated. The human and economic toll was significant, underscoring the urgent need for enhanced disaster preparedness and climate resilience measures. Vietnam's experience with Typhoon Yagi serves as a stark warning. As climate change intensifies, the frequency and intensity of such extreme weather events are projected to increase. This poses a significant threat to the country's development gains and its ability to achieve its sustainable development goals. Investing in climate-resilient infrastructure, early warning systems, and disaster risk reduction measures is paramount to mitigating the impacts of future climate disasters. Section 4. The Green Imperative: Charting a Sustainable Path. Despite the challenges, Vietnam recognizes the imperative for a green and sustainable future. The government has committed to ambitious climate targets, including transitioning to a low-carbon economy and enhancing climate resilience. There's growing recognition that investing in green industries presents a win-win opportunity, driving economic growth while reducing environmental impact. Vietnam can leverage its competitive edge in sectors like renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and ecotourism. By fostering innovation, promoting green technologies, and creating an enabling policy environment, Vietnam can attract investments, create jobs, and position itself as a leader in the global transition to a sustainable future. This will require continued government support, private sector engagement, and international collaboration. Section 5. A Global Challenge, a Collective Response. Climate change is a global challenge that demands a collective response. Developed countries have a historical responsibility to support developing nations like Vietnam in their climate adaptation and mitigation efforts. International climate finance mechanisms, technology transfer, and capacity building are crucial for enabling Vietnam to implement its climate action plans effectively. Vietnam actively participates in international climate negotiations and has called for greater global cooperation in addressing this shared challenge. The country has requested UN support in combating rising sea levels, particularly in the Mekong Delta. The international community must heed this call and provide the necessary financial and technical assistance to support Vietnam's climate resilience efforts. The fate of Vietnam, and indeed the world, depends on our collective action to address the climate crisis.